Hello. How's it, are you getting any lag at all? Yeah, a whole slew of articles came out today. Okay, I don't think it's buffering anymore. It looked like it was on the screen, but looks pretty good. I don't have any drop frames or anything. Yeah, so this is that drone footage they had a while back. Shows you how far down that is. I mean, look how small the people are right there. Like, that's a really good shot right there to show you. Probably 60, 70 feet, maybe even like 80. Now, they were saying 100 actually. I guess that could be if you look at a person at being roughly 6 feet tall and placing them down there, but I would think more like 70 feet or something. So if you guys remember this case, I guess they drove back like this, perhaps, and then turned around somewhere and came back, and then she stopped her car right here and just gunned it. But it was going maybe 40 miles an hour when it went off, not very fast. And then in the air, the wheels had no friction, so when she was pressing on the pedal, it got up to like 100 miles an hour. She wasn't going 100 when they went off the cliff. And that's Jennifer Hart. All right. So here is Crime Online. Their headline is Adopted Hart Children, 2 Still Missing, Were Money Makers for mother who drove family off the cliff. So apparently now they're sort of leaving Jennifer out of the story, as if Jennifer had no mind of her own, right? Look at that. For mother, not mothers, just mother, right? New information obtained by the Oregonian provides further evidence that Jennifer Hart falsely portrayed the reality of her family dynamics before driving herself, her wife, and her adopted children over a cliff in Northern California in late March. Jennifer and Sarah and 4 of their adopted children, basically they've been found. The Oregonian obtained financial records found during a police search of the family Woodland, Washington home. That's actually where my mother was born, which provided new insight into how the family earned money. The report described the children as money makers for their mothers and cited records that showed that Sarah Hart earned $45,000 a year as an assistant manager at Kohl's retail store, and the family earned about $41,000 in income designated for the 6 children who were adopted from foster care in Texas in 2 separate sibling groups in 2006 and 2009 respectively. The latest Oregonian report does not specify the source of the $41,000 in payments intended for the children. An earlier report found that the family received about $1,900 a month from the state of Texas for the care of the adopted children. The Harts reportedly earned an additional $11,000 a year from a surprising source. Records found at the scene showed that the family earned that income from a man who identified as a stepfather in the biological family of some of the children. So, one of the stepfathers of one of the groups, because there was like, I think it was 3 and 3. 3 were from one biological group and 3 were from another. One of the stepfathers was sending in $11,000 a year. Doesn't that seem weird? And it says the report does not state which of the children's biological relatives the stepfather is connected to. According to Crime Online, most recent information, authorities investigating the crash in California have not located any biological relatives of Hannah, Marcus, or Abigail Hart. So that would stand... Well, that's a stepfather, though, so there wouldn't be any blood related there. Wow, that's weird. So they can't find the biological parents of those 3 who were adopted together. In April, the Oregonian located and interviewed the biological mother of Devontae, Jeremiah, and Sierra, who spoke of her heartbreak at losing custody of her children and learning of their adoption in 2009. She gave no indication that any of the relatives had contact with the Hart children since adoption, which was closed, and the records remain sealed per Texas law. That I feel really bad for that mother, because the mother actually had her children taken from her, and then the mother's sister actually got custody. But then it was found out that the sister actually allowed the mother to come over and babysit during the day, so the court said, no, let's give it to 2 barbarians from the West Coast, up in Oregon. All right? Idiots. Actually, they lived in, I think, Minnesota or something at the time. Why didn't they just give them a little counseling, or perhaps give the sister more money so that she could take care of the kids and stay at home? Instead, she had to go to work, and she let the biological mother babysit during the day. Let's see, I'm going to play some of these videos that I had from before.
So
I don't know what this one is.
So this is...
Let's see. You guys remember this one? It's just so ridiculous, some of these videos, if you go back and listen.
No, I did this.
Okay, here we go. Ready? I'm proud to be me, but I also see you're just as proud to be you. We might look at things a bit differently, but lots of good people do. It's just human nature, so why should I hate you for being as human as I? We live and let live, and we give and let give, and we'll all
It's like Willy
get
Wonka and the
along
Chocolate Factory.
if we try.
These are the kids right there.
I'm proud to be me, but I also see you're just as proud to be you.
Remember this garbage? And there's Jennifer
It's
Hart
just
right there.
human nature, so why should I
I think
hate
that's
you
Jennifer.
for?
Maybe that's Sarah. I can't tell on this image. Well, maybe that's Sarah. I don't know.
Just so why should I?
Yeah! Good stuff there. Good stuff.
About a week ago or so, one of the children came over and started asking for food. And it went on for a period of time until we kind of determined that he was probably reaching out. And we determined that we should call the Child Protective Services, and that's what we did on Friday.
And you said you think it was Devontae who was coming to ask for food.
Oh,
you know
it was Devontae.
Definitely.
You guys have shown us pictures, and we've talked about that one, that it was Devontae for sure.
Well, they obviously had
Yeah.
a separate lives. Their public life was presented, and they did it to us. They portray this happy little family, and yet, you know, the night before, their daughter's telling us, please, 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 begging us not to make her go back, and that they were abusing her. It's unbelievable. I mean, what you're showing me, that they were part of that, and the pictures, it was not the family we saw next door.
Yeah.
I feel like there was nobody in their court. I feel that if there was people that knew these people, how could you miss that?
Yeah. Because
I gleaned that quickly with hardly any interface. It's not how I thought it was going to end. I thought it was going to end in a beautiful life for them. It breaks my heart.
Yeah, she's been crying all morning about it because it's, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The facade. Look at this. I actually made a video a while back. You can see it right here. Called The Facade of the Hart Family. Maybe I'll play that one here in a second.
We kind of started some of this with the whole, you know.
I was trying to help them and protect them. And this is the result.
You know what I hate is those two right there have gotten so much grief and hate from people online because they didn't, you know, call in at a certain time that they think they would have. The thing is at least because of them, somebody did come over at one point. Unfortunately, it led to the deaths because that's when Jennifer was at home and CPS came by. She didn't answer the door. Then 30 minutes later, Sarah came rushing home, and then they disappeared that night. Okay, don't blame anybody but the parents. Okay, if you want to blame anybody, blame CPS and all the clowns down the road prior to this that allowed this to happen when reports had been made. Okay. Don't pretend, oh, let's find the nearest ones and let's make them, you know, the object of our hate. It's ridiculous. Look at this one right here.
Oh, Matake Wasson. This is a place for all relations to bring celebration to meditation, giving thanks.
You know what I think? I think the kids were actually pets to the Harts, the Jennifer and Sarah. I think they were pets, literally treated just like a dog and animals. It's really crazy. Like right now, hey, perform, roll over. Oh, go fetch it. Do this. Do what I want you to do. I know this isn't really what you want to do, but I'm telling you to do it. So you know. Pets don't know that they don't want to a lot of times. If you go, hey, go get the toy, they do it happily because they want to play. You know, I guarantee it these kids didn't like doing a lot of the crap that they were doing. Guarantee it.
For all creation, we are so provided for. 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 The blessings I received, how they have been bestowed upon me. So I put it all back in the ground, back in the soil where I am found.
Hey, does anybody have the link to the Hey Amma, that one?
All started no donkey skin, something holy union. sisters dance. It is the way we make our plans. We are waiting. Is it? What is this? This is Eden. Eden is where I live and where I give my whole being to that good spirit. We are waiting and we're on our way. Oh, talk, I lost you. This is the place where all my relations took celebration to meditation, giving thanks for all the creation. We are so provided.
And look, she's holding that guitar like, oh yeah, I'm playing it. That's actually, I think it's that guy that, at the end they thank the person. I can't remember if it's like Nico or something.
We are so provided for. We are so provided for. We are so provided for.
How ironic is that? You guys weren't provided for at all.
Happy Thanksgiving, Nako.
Oh, Nako, not Nico. Okay, I was close.
We are grateful for you. Love you, Nako.
Was that okay? Did I say that right? Yeah. All right, let me get back to the... According to Crime Online, most recent information, authorities investigated the crash in California have not located any biological relatives of Hannah, Marcus, or Abigail. The Oregonian report also raises more questions about the living conditions of the 6 Hart children. The police search record showed that investigators found only one twin bed. Listen to this. This is why I think they were treated like pets. Only one twin bed that appeared to be meant for a child, though another room contained love seats and a padded mat. It says mat there. They spelled it wrong. So you see how insane that is? Like, what in the hell were you guys doing? Look at this. So this is the only bed in the entire house that appeared to be for a kid. And there was no other beds other than Jennifer and Sarah's bed. And then they had these little chairs here. Not chairs, love seats or whatever you want to call them. And then maybe a closet here with clothes. It's as if they were just pets. As a matter of fact, they have a little dog area too, right next to it. It's like, okay, hey, pets, go back to the room. Maybe they allowed the one kid that was good that day or week to be on this bed right here. Just absolutely disgusting. All right. The police, let me zoom in on this. I have a hard time reading now with this being far away from my face. The police search of the Hart family home days after a March crash off the Northern California coast presumably killed them all turned up few indications that 6 children were being raised there. You see what I'm saying? Like they didn't even, when you look around, it's like, wow, there were kids here? No, they're not. That's why they're saying what they are. They're not beds, okay? That's why if they were fold out, they would have said, yes, they're fold outs, right? I mean, that would be part of the article. Yes, they're beds they can fold out. All right? That's what they would have said. And look at the shape of them there. That's not what that is. See? That's definitely not a futon there, all right? So anyways, nearly half the family's income is most recent years came from money designated for care of the kids, all adopted out of foster care in Texas. An analysis of recently released records by the Oregonian Live found. Yeah, the police, that's a police report. There was only one twin bed, the rest were just couches. The ones I just showed you. all adopted out of foster care in Texas. An analysis of recently released records by the Oregonian Live found. Investigators couldn't figure out where the children slept in the woods. See, look at it. If they were fooled out, they'd be able to answer this question. Investigators couldn't figure out where the children slept in the Woodland, Washington home. The new records from the Clark County Sheriff's Office show. See, I can tell you where they slept. Probably right there on the floor, maybe in some dog, mats. I mean, they're just absolutely barbarians. The parents, of course, had a double bed. Another bedroom contained 2 foam love seats and a padded mat where police believe some of the children may have slept. Hey, there you go. So you hadn't even read it yet. The third bedroom held the twin bed. You got that right, Ada. Horrible. Jennifer and Sarah Hart's parents, Jennifer and Sarah Hart, parents of the 6, lived beyond their means, and aspects of their lifestyle diverged wildly from what they presented publicly online, the records show. See, didn't we say this all before? It was all just a joke, an act. Hey, that whole crappy video, that's exactly what that was. Hey, LJ, you missed nothing, man. You missed nothing. If you want to watch it, go back and watch at the beginning. To be honest, though, it was all quality stuff, LJ. Jeez. LJ's always... Every time LJ shows up, the first thing he says, it's part of his persona, is, "Can you give me a recap?" That's what he says. Yeah, it's just total propaganda crap. That's exactly right, Dr. Piper. Absolute garbage from the get-go. I mean, so now when you know that, let's figure out what they're going to say about this, okay? Jennifer and Sarah Hart, parents of the 6, live beyond their means, and aspects of their lifestyle diverge wildly from what they presented publicly online, the records show. Deputies and cadet, let's see, the 3-bedroom in the Hart family home shared a bathroom on the top floor. So there's only 3 bedrooms in there. They shared Hart family home shared a bathroom on the top floor of the split-level home and looked out onto their sweeping 2-acre property. Police concluded the bedroom at left, okay, so they're describing this right here, belonged to, oh, so wow, this is actually just the parents' bed right there. The Hart parents, while the middle bedroom contained a twin bed surrounded by remodeling supplies. So that's maybe the twin bed right over there. Wow. So that's it. There was this bed for the parents, and then a bed right there, and then remodeling supplies. So it wasn't even a room where it was comfortable. I wasn't even right. That's not even the kid's bed right there. While the contained a twin bed surrounded by remote. The 3rd bedroom held 2 foam love seats and a small mat that police said the children may have slept on. Like right there, maybe. God, what a joke. Jesus. Disgusting. Deputies and cadaver dogs searched the family's rural property in April for signs of 3 children who remained unaccounted for and found no evidence of bodies, nor did detectives turn up any clues why the family went on an apparently abrupt trip late in March and ended when Jennifer Hart drove her family's SUV off an ocean cliff. But the investigation found that money was tight and the adopted children were money makers. According to records found at the scene, 2 of the children yielded the family payments of about $11,000 a year from a man who identifies as the stepfather in their birth family. Jennifer Hart was a stay-at-home parent who homeschooled the children. You should put quotes around that. And Sarah Hart earned about $45,000 as an assistant manager at Kohl's record show. The couple also appeared to bring in as much as $41,000 in a typical year from payments intended for the children's well-being, according to the Oregon Live's analysis. The parents had recently purchased the $375,000 three-bedroom home and accumulated more than $21,000 in credit card debt, according to documents from Clark County. Let's see what this said. Now, look at this bullshit photo right here. See, this is probably something that, yes, Facebook. Look how great it is here. Look how Devontae can just rest on the dog. Here's what I'll guarantee. I will guarantee that those dogs lived a much better life than the kids did. And that's one of the odd things about this case, too. Where are the two dogs? Did they get dropped off with Nako or somebody? You know, who knows where those dogs are? You know, they weren't in the car, apparently. Two of the children told neighbors, you know, here's something I want to say. I see a lot of the comments on YouTube when I was making these videos about race and stuff. This doesn't have anything to do with race, okay? It has to do with two barbarian parents. You know, let's put quotes around parents who killed these kids, right? They didn't even want to have kids. They had them for the money part of it. Their home looked like they weren't ever going to have kids. I mean, look at these pictures here. Look at it. It looks immaculate. Look at the refrigerator's full of food that the kids never got. But the parents look like they never missed a meal, you know? Look at these kids. I mean, they're so skinny, some of these kids. Look at that. Oh, we got all our fancy wine, our little fruit and everything. But look how skinny these guys are. No, that's a lot of images there. Yeah. Devontae Hart, the family's middle son, reads a book in the main floor sitting area of the house. Over the 10 months the Harts lived there, they painted the walls, replaced the flooring, and prepared to plant a spring garden. Two of the children told neighbors in the months and days leading up to their disappearance that their parents abused and underfed them. An Oregon doctor who examined the children in 2013 found that nearly all of them were so small they were off the growth charts for height and weight. One son, Devontae Hart, 15, asked neighbors for tortillas, bread, and cured meat for himself and his siblings. The neighbor ultimately called Washington's child welfare officials, who knocked on the family door the day before they left. Police, hoping to find clues, later discovered chest freezers in the family home filled with lunch meat, tortillas, and copious amounts of bread. Find clues, later discovered a chest. I wonder if that's where Devontae was storing this stuff. Filled with lunch meat, tortillas, and copious amounts of bread. They found the home clean and orderly, except for dirty dishes in the kitchen sink and some clothes piled in heaps around the house. More than 270 police photos taken at the home show investigators found school supplies, board games, and a small library filled with Harry Potter, Twilight, and other young adult novels. No family photos were on display anywhere in the home. No keepsakes, posters, or any personal objects indicated that children and teenagers lived in the bedrooms. Rescue crews in Mendocino County, California discovered the bodies of 3 of the children, Marcus Hart, the oldest 19, Abigail Hart 14, and Jeremiah 14, near the wreckage of their family vehicle March 26th. Evidence showed their mother, Jennifer Hart, 38, was drunk. Oh, I didn't really hear that part. She was drunk when she drove off the cliff, authorities said. Huh. I don't remember that. Do you guys remember that phrasing? I don't know why I don't remember that, if that was something that was common. Huh. California investigators believe the SUV was in the ocean for some time because water had pooled up and grown warm inside the wheel wells, the Clark County report said. The high tide likely carried all of the children out of the SUV, and some several hundred yards away from the wreckage, according to the reports, Jennifer Hart and Sarah Hart, 38, were found inside. The body of Sierra Hart, 12, was found 10 days later. Devontae, 15, and Hannah Hart still haven't been found. Testing of remains believed to be the foot of a female hasn't yet yielded an identity, but I think that's going to be Hannah's foot. The Hart family moved to the Woodland acreage in May 2017 after several years living in a rented home in West Lynn. That's only about 10 miles from me. The couple registered to vote and registered the title to the car in Washington. They began to renovate the sweeping property with horse stalls, garden beds, and a walkout basement. See, it's almost like here's what they seem to be doing. They were trying to build their lives for themselves using the money that they got for the kids to do all of that stuff, and just hoping to the time where they're all 18 and they can get the hell out of there. However, the revelations that came forth knew that their lives were going to be ruined socially after that, after the abuse allegations came out and CPS showed up. The jig was up, and Jennifer decided to kill the entire family to avoid the humiliation that she would have had to receive. Yeah, right. They had to do it before they turned 18. Right. That 19-year-old was probably already burdened on them. Like, oh, God. Man, this guy is just draining our world. If I was him, I would have got the hell out of there. He probably had no skills, though, whatsoever, with the homeschooling that Jennifer was doing. You know, Jennifer's homeschooling probably consisted of playing Joni Mitchell songs all day, having him dance around with a fish head on. Look at that fridge, man. Just absolutely stocked full. But the kids didn't get one bite of that stuff. Jennifer Hart often shared anecdotes about the family's vegetarian lifestyle online. Yeah, because see, that fits the whole narrative of the sort of, you know, that hippie culture. I'm not even sure what you call that, but in the Woodland home, let's see, the family's living situation didn't always match what Jennifer Hart wrote about. Oh yeah, let me finish this one. Jennifer Hart often shared anecdotes about family vegetarian lifestyle online. In their Woodland home, chicken, beef, and pork filled part of the Hart family fridge. See this? What a joke. Read what post? What are you talking about? I'm just going through the article here. I don't have a clue what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know what you're referring to, sorry. I'll just keep going. Oh, you mean this right here? Okay. Checking out the grocery store. Cashier looking before. Yeah, I read this one on one of my lives before. Cashier looking befuddled. What is this? Big grin. Those are leeks. Cashier continues ringing. I've never seen someone buy so many vegetables. Kid 2. Well, we are vegetarians. Vegetables are delicious. But your mom didn't even get any snacks for you. Me biting my tongue. The kid says, the one kid said to the kid 2, he must not even seen the kale. Has anybody ever eaten raw kale before? It sucks. Alright? Yeah. I don't actually believe these are real stories. At all. I think they're just stories to keep propagating her agenda out there. Raw kale is one of the worst tasting things in the world. But if you put stuff on it, you can eat it. People who say, "Oh, I love it," they're just trying to fool you, right? But you put some dressing on it and so forth, then it's okay. Right, exactly. You got to add it with something. It's really bitter, shitty tasting. All right. Clark County investigators in March found the family's fridge stocked with hot dogs, ham, large packs of chicken breasts, and a large roll of ground beef. See, we were on to these people from the beginning. Go back and watch, if you want, some of the original live videos that we did. It's exactly... It almost predicted everything that's in these articles. It's hilarious. A close friend told the Oregonian after the crash that Jennifer Hart did not drink, but Sarah Hart did occasionally. Well, that's not true. Police photos show 17 bottles of wine displayed on the kitchen counters. The couple also had a container of recreational marijuana. Of course, recreational marijuana, because it's legal, right? And a small pipe on a dresser in their bedroom. Neighbors said the family appeared to keep to themselves and didn't seem to have guests, according to the police. Yeah, because they wouldn't want to have guests come in and say, "Oh, wow, so where do the kids stay?" Oh, well, they wouldn't even be able to have an answer for that whatsoever. I think it's a red flag if you buy a home and it's a 3-bedroom home and you have 6 kids. Like the CPS should have said, well, where are they going to sleep? You going to put 3 kids in a room? I mean, at least went over and looked at it. Obviously, CPS never went to their home. And the whole time that they were there, they could not have ever walked in there. Because if they did, they'd say, wow, where do the kids stay? Jennifer Hart's social media posts portrayed a family that spurned television and kept children largely away from electronic screens in favor of camping, gardening, reading books, and caring for animals. Traded in the television for best big screen available, Planet Earth, she wrote. What an embarrassment. God. These are exactly... I always picture the people in that lifestyle like this anyways. And this just sort of validates that. It's garbage. Fake, fake, fake. All of it. Police found a large screen TV in the family common space and a tablet and a laptop in the home. The Clark County Sheriff's Office has not yet said what the content of the electronics revealed. I'd be interested to see that. The couple struggled to keep up their expenses on one paycheck, records show. On one paycheck. Investigators found statements for 2 credit cards with a combined balance of $16,750. The couple paid $8,000 the prior month to bring down their Discover card balance, which had exceeded $21,000. Their next payment was due March 28th. Investigators found that the last financial transaction made from the couple's bank account was a payment to the card in early morning hours of March 26th, the day the crash was discovered. That's weird. That must have been an auto payment or something. It's unclear what the amount was or whether it was an automated payment. Okay, that's what the next sentence. It's got to be an automated payment. It's not like you're gonna. Well, I'm gonna go kill myself, but let me go pay my bills first. Well, Gray, it could have been Sarah Hart. I mean, maybe she was bill conscious and made that payment while they were out on that trip and didn't know that Sarah was going to run them off the cliff. The children were an important source of income. Texas paid the family roughly $30,000 a year in adoption assistance payments, according to records obtained from Texas. Comptroller's, Texas Comptroller's Office. Texas Comptroller's Office. Wow, that's I hate that word, comptrollers. Those payments decreased by about $550 a month in August 2016. And that's probably when the kids became a burden. The month after Marcus turned 18, see, Marcus was 19 when he was found dead. He should have got the hell out of there. The final payment to the family was $1,900 on March 2nd. See, there's a little, the wine bottles and everything. Receipts, utility bills, and Sarah Hart's work schedule shared counter space with fresh fruit and wine in the Hart family kitchen. One receipt documents a March 20 purchase at Big Lots, 6 days before the family's fatal crash was discovered. Two sons, biological brothers Devontae and Jeremiah, also brought in additional monthly payments paid from the retirement account of Nathaniel Davis. Documents detailing the payments list Davis as Devontae's father, not as the Devontae's father. See, it's hard to read some of these documents, these articles, because they make mistakes. And I have to read them like 3 times going, God, is that really... Payments list Davis as the Devontae's father. Like he's some the Devontae. Well, I guess you could refer to that guy like that, because he was sort of like the main performer in the family. The documents show Jeremiah benefits amount to $5,400 every year. If Devontae brought in the same amount, that netted the family $10,800. Another man, Clarence Celestine, told the Oregonian in April that he is the father of Jeremiah and the boy's younger sister. Wait, what? Is the father of Jeremiah and the boy's younger sister. That he is the father of Jeremiah and the boy's younger sister, Sierra. The boy's younger sister, Sierra. So he's the father of both of them. Celestine's sister unsuccessfully tried to adopt all 3 of the children from foster care in 2006. Court records in their adoption appeal. See, here's what I would do. I would actually, if I was CPS, I would find any family member and give them all of the assistance and let them take care of the kids. As long as they're not a drug dealer or something like that. If they're normal people, a lot of times you always hear these people say, oh, they always do look for the benefit of the kids. And it's just not true. Maybe that's what their intention is, but they always see the wrong thing. Records show that Davis tried to join the case to stop child support payments made to at least one of the children. But the records don't make clear who the money was going to or how Davis was related to the recipient. Davis has since said that he is married to their mother and has called himself their stepfather. So he's probably the one that was making the $11,000 a year in payments. That's kind of weird, though, because if you adopt children, why would any step-parents at all have to pay you a nickel, right? You don't have to pay child support when somebody adopted your kids and you're not even there. I mean, that sounds ludicrous to me. Thank you, Miss Incredible. Yeah, why would you have to pay a dime? That doesn't make any sense at all. Like, they were adopted. And what we've said before, if you adopt children, you should be able to be financially able to take care of them on your own. There should be no state assistance or any crap like that. If you're adopting children, you should be able to be self-sufficient. Now, if you're a foster parent, then I could see the state helping out because you're just sort of providing apparently like a stable life, a home for at least the kids so they can go to school and so forth. But if you literally are adopting, you should get no assistance unless circumstances change. But at the time of adoption, you should be able to be self-sufficient, taking care. Now, let's say somebody got injured, they couldn't work, then the state comes in and can help with some assistance. But man, that would avoid all this crap. Look at that, $40,000 a year, and they went to Texas on purpose, knowing they got the big payouts from there. They were like, "Ooh, yeah. We can't get any ones around here because they don't give us as much. But I heard in Texas they pay out a lot." Just disgusting. God, you know what? I actually wish that Jennifer had survived and then I would have given her, if I was a judge and gone through this, I would have given her the death penalty. Absolute barbarian. Or Jennifer, excuse me. Now, Sarah has a huge responsibility here, too. I don't know how much involved with going off the cliff she was. I don't know. She didn't seem to try at all to help out, but the kids seemed to think that she was the one that would nurse them after Jennifer would go medieval on them. Yeah, so this is the extent of the children. That little book thing there with the Harry Potters in. Police found an open bag of mealworms strewn across the dining room floor when they searched the Hart family's home. Oh, that's weird. An open bag of mealworms. Animal control took away several animals from the house at the same time. Oh, well, animal control took the dogs. See, why wasn't that reported early on? They made it sound like they were just missing. Well, Gray, it didn't specifically mention the dogs. How do we know that the dogs were... Let's just assume now, okay, that they took the dogs. So there was a police photograph, a Pontiac Sunfire. I think this is probably Sarah's car that she rushed back from work after CPS showed up. And when you look right down there, you can see parts of a Kentucky Fried Chicken, hot dogs, and some biscuits. That was a joke. Yeah, look at the... God, that looks like just a total slob vehicle right there. Look at that. Yeah. Video security footage captured the last sighting of Sarah Hart on March 23rd as she drove the Sunfire away from her job at Hazeldale. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. That's the car she drove back from work. And there's her work card. Associate since 2012. Kohl's assistant manager. Yeah. Here, I'm going to play this one, the one I made a while back. The Facade. of the Hart family.
Oh, happy birthday to me.
And who are we checking on?
Sarah Hart.
And how are you related to her?
Just a friend.
Tell me the reason that we're checking on.
Oh, happy birthday to me.
So this was a video I made a while back with the, I put the 911 calls in and put it with the birthday video. Remember this? Here we go.
Oh, happy birthday to me.
And who are we checking on?
Sarah Hart.
And how are you related to her?
Just a friend.
Tell me the reason that we're checking on her again.
She sent out a text message at 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning stating that she was sick, but nobody's been able to get a hold of her or talk to her or seen her since that text message.
Okay.
Or her wife, which is Jen. So we're just concerned.
See, look at this craziness right here. See, look at this. She hasn't missed a meal in a long time, right? Look how skinny these kids are. Like, look at that. The legs here. This girl right here, that's Hannah. Apparently she's like 15 or 16, this girl right here. Right? And, I mean, it's just ludicrous.
So we're just concerned.
Okay, and did she say, when she said she was sick, did she say what was going on, or?
She just said that she just is unable.
Oh yeah, look at like they give them something to eat, put it on camera. See, they do eat. They do eat.
To
What the hell was he even eating? Let me see that. Like, was that a roll or something?
She just said that
cornbread or
she
something.
just is unable to come out and wasn't able to go to work.
I don't know. It looked like I don't think it was an apple. It looked like a bread. See that? Maybe it is an apple though. Maybe it's been eaten a little bit.
Sure.
She just said that
She was
Yeah,
sick.
maybe it's
Did
like
she say what was going on, or?
You might be right. Maybe it's a quarter of an apple, something like that. Yeah, maybe a pear.
she just said that
Because by God, they're sure as hell not going to get a hot dog.
to come out and wasn't able to go to work and thought she was going to have to go to the doctor. I checked the hospital.
Yeah, see, this kind of reminds me a little bit of the, like this little scene. Oh, hey. Okay, now listen. What we're going to do is I'm going to come up behind you, and I want you to give us a big smile and look like it was really. That's what it reminds me in the Watts case when let's see, I can't even remember her name all of a sudden. Shannon had Chris go back and reshoot the scene of him finding out she was pregnant. You know, it was just totally staged. You can just tell when something's not natural. You can tell, right? Oh wow! Hey! Oh hey!
I checked the hospital, so they didn't have any record of her, and I think her phone is now dead.
And what is her phone number?
Hey, look at the Shetland wife.
And just the two of them live there? Or?
Shetland.
And they have 6 children.
Yeah, there's some kids that I feel is being highly abused, and I can't wait until Monday in Woodland, Washington.
Yeah, see that guy calling right there. The guy just called right there. He's actually the, I think the father of.
About a week ago or so.
Of this lady right here. Because a year prior, Hannah went into their house scared to death, hiding by a bed, and they didn't do anything about it. So when the father of her came over after that, he called the police, but they didn't do anything either because none of the kids would cooperate and so forth. All right? So let's get back to that. Now listen to what the father said.
Oh, happy birthday to me.
Okay.
In my 2 in the morning, a little girl jumped out of the second.
Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, that was the ironic Hart Family one, but I made a different one. The facade.
Oh, happy birthday to me.
doesn't want to help her. They're new here, Texas, Washington.
And they have 6 children.
Yeah, there's some kids that I feel is being highly abused, and I can't wait until Monday in Woodland, Washington.
What's the address?
Okay, I'm going to give you the address of my daughter's house because it's right next door.
Okay, and what's going on?
Yeah, that looked natural there. You notice none of them are even looking at the same thing. Hey, now here's what we're going to do. We're going to pan the camera, and I want you to all look up in the air at something mystical, okay? It'll look really cool. Watch this. Anyways, let's listen to what the father said. Sorry.
Washington.
What's the address?
Okay, I'm going to give you the address of my daughter's house because it's right next door.
Okay, and what's going on there?
Well, they have 4 black children, which that part doesn't matter, and they're new here, Texas. But the other night, a little girl jumped out of the 2nd-story window on the roof and then down onto the ground and ran to my daughter. And this is like 2 in the morning, begging them to help her.
When did that happen?
About 3-4 nights ago.
Okay.
And my son-in-law doesn't want to get involved, but the more I sit on it, I just can't live with it. Somebody's got to go there and check on these kids.
So how old was the little kid that did that ran to your daughter's house?
About 12 years old, 13. And when they came looking for her, she was begging my daughter not to let them know she was there. And then eventually my son-in-law let them know. And then she had all 4 of the kids come back later and to say everything was okay, and they were all standing at attention like they were just scared to death. And I think there's something very serious going on there.
So why didn't they listen to what that guy was saying and really investigate?
And they're here from Texas. The kids might even be kidnapped.
Yeah, that's a good...
And
to be honest with you, that's actually a good guess based on the conditions. Like absolutely no remnants whatsoever that there was kids in that house.
So did the girl ever say why she was scared?
No, she was crying, and it was 2 in the morning, and my daughter said the biggest problem was she's half awake. She couldn't believe what was going on. And and basically my son-in-law is like most people, they don't want to get involved. And so he's keeping my daughter out of it, but since she's told me about it, I just can't live with it. I'm very concerned for these kids. He's keeping my daughter out of it, but
I just want to punch that in the face right there.
Since she's told me about it, I just can't live with it. I'm very concerned for these kids. I just can't let this go any longer. Those kids, I think, is in very serious danger.
About a week ago or so, one of the children came over and started asking for food. And it went on for a period of time until we kind of determined that he was probably reaching out. And we determined that we should call the Child Protective Services, and that's what we did on Friday.
And you said you think it was Devontae who was coming to ask for food.
Oh,
you know
it was Devontae.
Definitely.
You guys have shown us pictures, and we've talked about that one, that it was Devontae for sure.
Well, they obviously had
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was she doing
Showing
right
us
here?
pictures and
Like, right there, was she praying to the gods? Didn't they tell you at that point that maybe you should give your kids something to eat every once in a while? Probably not.
we've talked about that one, that it was Devontae for sure.
Well, they obviously had
Yeah.
a separate lives. Their public life was presented, and they did it to us. They portray this happy little family, and yet, you know, the night before, their daughter's telling us, please, 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 begging us not to make her go back, and that they were abusing her. It's unbelievable. I mean, what you're showing me, that they were part of that, and the pictures, it was not the family we saw next door.
Jennifer's probably filming it all for her propaganda.
In their court. I feel that if there was people that knew these people, how could you miss that?
Yeah.
Because I gleaned that quickly with hardly any interface. It's not.
Look at that. You think he was really sleeping here? Look how bogus this is. Like he was just a good night's sleep. Come on, guy, let's get up today.
I feel that.
Oh, yeah.
If
wow.
there was people that knew these people, how could you miss that?
Hey,
because I
wide
gleaned
awake.
that quickly with hardly any interface.
What a joke.
It's not how I thought it was going to end. I thought it was going to end in a beautiful life for them. Breaks my heart.
Yeah.
They
she's been
made
crying all morning
them
about
act
it
like that.
because
That's
it's,
what's the sad
you know, we kind of started some of this with the whole, you know.
I was trying to help them and protect them. And
there's
this is the
Jennifer.
result.
Just gorgeous. Huh?
And Marcus is still missing?
No, we have him.
Well, Marcus was 19. So when this initially was reported to have 6 children,
Look how much fun Jennifer's
Marcus is
having.
19
Oh boy, good old
now.
Jennifer.
So he's classified as an adult. And then
Jeremiah. We have Jeremiah.
Jeremiah has been recovered.
That is Sierra.
Sierra is missing still. Beautiful smile.
Abigail we have.
Abigail we have.
And Hannah.
And Hannah is still missing. So, yeah, this is heartbreaking.
And who are we checking on?
Sarah Hart.
And how are you related to her?
Just a friend.
Tell me the reason that we're checking on her again.
She sent out a text message at 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning stating that she was sick, but nobody's been able to get a hold of her or talk to her or seen her since that text message.
Okay.
Or her wife, which is Jen. So we're just concerned.
Look at that. Oh, hey. Oh, wow. God.
Okay, and did she say, when she said she was sick, did she say what was going on, or?
She just...
So I think it's possible that, I mean, the kids even said, like one of the kids that was beaten by Jennifer actually said that Sarah helped the wounds better, you know, make them, you know, soothe the pain or whatever you want to say. To me, it could be that Sarah is basically like one of those, the battered wife syndrome, where she just didn't do anything. But I don't give her a break for not doing something, getting the kids out of that situation. That was her responsibility too. She knew exactly what was going on every single day. She should have just reported it, and to hell with what you look like. That's the truth. People would have looked higher on her just for the fact that she reported on her own, you know, I don't know if, you know, wife or whatever they called it. Were they married? I don't remember how that worked, but I think they were married, actually. But, yeah, she didn't do a goddamn thing.
Said that she just is unable to come out and wasn't able to go to work and thought she was going to have to go to the doctor. I checked the hospitals. They didn't have any record of her. And I think her phone is now dead.
And what is her phone number? Okay. And just the 2 of them live there, or?
And they have 6 children.
Yeah, there's some kids that I feel is being highly abused, and I can't wait until Monday in Woodland, Washington.
What's the address?
Okay, I'm going to give you the address of my daughter's house because it's right next door.
Okay, and what's going on there?
That's probably how they look at you, a monster.
Well, they have 4 black children, which that part doesn't matter, and they're new here in Texas. But the other night, a little girl jumped out of the 2nd-story window on the roof and then down onto the ground and ran to my daughter, and this is like 2 in the morning, begging them to help her.
When did that happen?
About...
You know, it seems to me like Jennifer was just a user of people. So look, Sarah had a job. So the way you could look at this is Jennifer was stayed at home and did, quote, homeschooling. Her income scheme was to adopt these kids and get the money, where Sarah actually had a normal job bringing in her money. And Jennifer is the barbarian that spent the whole day at home with these kids. And then maybe, I don't know if they were treated differently when Sarah wasn't there, but obviously Sarah knows that there are no beds, there are no fun things for kids in the house, and that they're not being fed correctly, and that her wife, Jennifer, has abused them. So she knows all that and did absolutely nothing.
3-4 nights ago.
Okay.
And my son-in-law doesn't want to get involved, but the more I sit on it, I just can't live with it. Somebody's got to go there and check on these
And
kids.
so how old was the little kid that did that ran to your daughter's house?
About 12 years old, 13. And when they came looking for her, she was begging my daughter not to let them know she was there.
Look how freaked out that is. See, it's weird to me. That's the only part where I actually understand the adult neighbors. This is the father of the lady that's talking. See, they saw all these things, and then the Hart parents came over, and then all the kids said, "Oh yeah. They act like this." So maybe they gave them a break right there because they didn't have any other evidence other than that girl saying that. But when the father of that lady heard that, that's when he was like, no. Because he didn't have the family in there saying those things. He just heard the story. And then he called again. And so what he's saying right here is really disturbing because he's saying exactly what Hannah was doing. And I still find it odd, to be honest, that Hannah and Devante are the two that are missing, and they're the two that created the recent problems for Jennifer and Sarah. Right? Hannah had that incident, and Devante is the one that recently was going over asking for food and so forth.
And then eventually my son-in-law let him know. And then she had
this father guy, this guy talking right now, he seems to be pretty disappointed in his son-in-law.
all 4 of the kids come back later and to say everything was okay, and they were all standing at attention like they were just scared to death. And I think there's something very serious going on there. And they're here from Texas. The kids might even be kidnapped.
Okay. And so did the girl ever say why she was scared?
No, she was crying, and it was 2 in the morning, and my daughter said the biggest problem was she's half awake. She couldn't believe what was going on. And and basically my son-in-law's like most people, they don't want to get involved. And so he's keeping my daughter out of it, but since she's told me about it, I just can't live with it. I'm very concerned for these kids. I just can't let this go any longer. Those kids, I think, is in very serious danger.
Wow. I mean, that guy was so on target. Literally, like, he should work for CPS. That guy right there. Right? Yeah. And then there was actually a CNN. Ooh, I said actually. Where's the brick? Hit me in the face. Last night I said actually about 1,000 times. But I think that's just one of my words. I can't stop it. Yeah, now it's 1,001. You got that. There was no sign that the children lived in the Hart family home, report says, by CNN.
A grim update, meantime, in the investigation into a troubled family's mysterious and fatal SUV crash off a California cliffside involving 2 parents and 6 adoptive children. The Mendocino County Sheriff's Office now says a body was found in the Pacific Ocean surf near the crash site in Westport, California. The body is identified.
The article is new, though, today. In the days after the Hart family SUV was discovered at the bottom of a California cliff, investigators visited their Washington State home and were surprised to find almost no evidence that 6 children ranging from age 12 to 19 lived in the house. There were no toys in the home, No personalized decorations in the kids' bedrooms, according to documents released by the Clark County Sheriff's Office. Upon entering the house, it was found to be extremely clean and organized. There's probably like a military base in there. One detective wrote, giving a perception of being very sterile. That's exactly what I think when I look at that. It's like, God, that's like overboard. There was very little to show the children had access to any toys or items of entertainment, save for some board games found in the downstairs family room. What games do you think they had down there? Maybe Sorry? The Hart families first made headlines when their upside-down SUV was discovered at the bottom of a 100-foot cliff in Mendocino County, California, March 26th. Right. Okay, now they're just going to go over the same stuff we've gone over 1,000 times. Okay, the family left behind toiletries, suitcases. When authorities showed up on the doorstep of the Hart family home in Woodland, they found a social worker's business card wedged in the front door, along with a paper from Clark County Animal Control that said some of their pets had been taken for safekeeping. Huh. Well, that's weird. I mean, how did they get them? Were they outside? According to the Sheriff's Office report, which details investigators' initial efforts to uncover information about the family in the days after their car was discovered in California. Investigators also found a refrigerator recently stocked with groceries and fresh fruit and bowls adorning countertops. It appears the family had made a hasty departure, leaving behind their toothbrushes in a cup in the bathroom and their suitcases still stacked in the garage. See, I think when, we've gone over in other videos that the route that they took way down Southern California, I mean, not Southern California, but way past where they went over the cliff, and they bought that food. I think she was just using that to insert drugs for the kids to take. That's why they had the drugs in their system, because she knew what she was doing. I think it's totally premeditated, everything. There's zero chance that she accidentally drove off that cliff. Some people still actually say that, though, if you can believe that. It seemed that if the family was planning a trip, the detective said, they would have packed some bags with clothing and other personal belongings. One detective said it was difficult to distinguish which bedrooms belonged to the children. Only the parents' room could be identified based on their clothing and the decor, but none of the other rooms were personalized for children or showed the supporting elements that children lived in the residence, according to the report. Yeah, it looked like they had it set up for, maybe if a guest child came over, they would have at least a place to read. But they had 6 kids living there. The family was apparently in the process of renovating the home and had stored some remodeled supplies in one of the bedrooms. Remodeling supplies. Some picture frames hung on the wall, but they didn't contain family photos. Simply pieces of paper specifying the frame's measurement. Oh, God, are you kidding me? I didn't even look at that. I just thought that was some weird poem or something sideways. But this is just when you buy the frame, that's what's just sitting in there before you put the pictures in. What would be the point of that? Yeah, that really is, isn't it, Phoebe? That's like absolutely nuts. Nutty. Huh. Man, that speaks of something bigger there. That's absolutely nuts. Well, they were just putting it there to get a feel for what it would look like when... No, listen. They were hanging on the wall, all right? Oh, yeah. Oops. God, don't say that too loud there, Candy, or you're going to have people saying, oh, it's a false flag. It's a psyops. No, this really happened. Really happened. No, there's no proof of that at all, Valerie. They found a foot, though, and I think that's probably Hannah's, so that sort of makes me believe that maybe they did get washed out. It's just still strange. No, it's not a hoax. This is not a hoax, okay? If you think it's a hoax, then unsubscribe and never watch a video again. This really did happen, just like Sandy Hook happened, all right? It's not a hoax. A rocking chair sits in front of a television in the Hart family's home. I thought they didn't have it. I guess that was the only one. I'm to the point where I no longer am calling this an accident, Mendocino County Sheriff Tom Allman told HLN earlier this year. I'm calling it a crime. Yeah, I remember that one. You said that on Ashley Banfield's show. And there she is. Good old Jennifer. Yeah. Yeah, it's not a hoax. Now, their life was a hoax. You know, like, they were tricking people. I'll say that. Oh, look at that. Old LJ. He's trying to get his little timeouts going. He's not getting enough attention, everybody. Everyone focusing on LJ. He needs some attention now. All right, everybody look at LJ. He's got to get his attention. Oh, that's so funny, LJ. Good stuff, man. Really good. So right there, you can see some bananas right there. Sarah didn't show up for work on Sunday and didn't respond to text messages and phone calls from the coworkers. One, her coworker, Cheryl Hart, no relation, became concerned. So I guess that other girl's her coworker, Cheryl Hart. Some of them were aware that Sarah was the primary source of finances for the family of 8. She told one coworker the kids were mentally delayed. Right, well, you're mentally delaying them by having Jennifer homeschool them, and would have to live with their adopted parents for the rest of their lives. What really? See, that's what Sarah said. See, that's where she gets put into a little bit more of a nefarious realm. She told one coworker her kids were mentally delayed and would have to live with their adopted parents for the rest of their lives. Yeah. Sarah also said the kids caused emotional stress on Jennifer. Oh boy. So now you're blaming the kids? Sarah also said the kids caused emotional stress on Jennifer. Well, Sarah, you've just lost all of the compassion that I had that you could possibly have been the victim of, battered wife syndrome or something like that. You're an idiot. So Sarah said the kids caused emotional stress on Jennifer and that her wife would often call about the kids making her crazy and arguing with them, the report notes. And I think it was more, she was just angry with the kids and just wanted to let you know that because they weren't acting like the dog would act. Sit, and the dog would sit. Well, maybe the kids wanted to move and do something, so you got angry about it. According to Cheryl Hart, Sarah said the family had Cheryl Hart right now is the girl that called on that 911 call that we heard a little bit ago. According to Cheryl Hart, Sarah said the family had faced threats and harassment because she and Jennifer were lesbians and their adopted children who were black were a different race. Correction, the article has been updated to correct the city where the viral photo of Devontae Hart was taken. It was Portland, Oregon. Yeah, everybody knew that. See, that just sounds like one of those people that try to use every sort of tactic to get out of something. You know, blaming, your sexual identity and race to make it seem like that's the problem for everything. No, the problem is that you adopted kids for the money. You didn't feed them at all. Rarely. You had no living quarters for the kids. They were homeschooled by a barbarian, and the kids were so scared and malnourished that they actually went over to the neighbor's house on 2 different occasions. And then you ended up, when this was found out, you drove them off a cliff and killed them all because you're a barbarian monster. I hope her family doesn't have any good thoughts about her. Of course, they're probably saying, oh, she was such a great mom, Jennifer, but something just happened, you know. She was a monster from the get-go. Sociopath, whack job. And to be honest, Sarah isn't much better now that you read those other parts where she blamed the kids. Yeah, unbelievable. Let's see if I have any other older videos in here that I maybe would be interesting. Hey, thanks, Lynette. Hello, Gray. I love the content. Well, I appreciate that. I think this, I do have the Ashley Banfield version on here. There they are. See, I think she's something like 15 or 16. And I think she's 12. I can't remember exactly. He's 19. I actually have one that has all their names on it. This one. Although I think I might have spelled Sierra wrong at the time I made this. I don't know which one was 12, though. See, that's why I'm confused. Is Hannah now actually 12 in the documents? Because they said 12 to 19 in that article. And I don't know which one would be 12. Maybe it was Abigail. Yeah. But I mean, if you look at Hannah, it just really looks like she's 12. I mean, look at those, you know, her hands are little. She's just little. She's like a tiny... Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Joan Milano. Keep up the great work, Gray. I appreciate that. Okay, I did know she was drunk, because here's one that I made. She was drunk, 0.102. I just didn't remember that. And then there was toxicology, the Hart Family, and then the phenhydramine. I think that was in that anti-allergy pill, but I think she probably gave a lot to those kids, and then maybe they were sleeping. It's interesting. They said that the car was in the water a long time. I wish they would say specifically how long. Yeah, Benadryl, there you go. And then maybe she put it in the bananas or some kind of a drink or something, and maybe they got drowsy. I want to know what they were doing though further south. Okay, maybe I can get out the Google Earth here real quick. Go back and look at the old Hart Family location on here. That. So here's that location. It sounds like they think she was coming this way, stopped and drove. So for me, it feels like she was driving back, because if you look at this map here. They were actually way down here, right? And she was in Fort Bragg in this town here, went into a store. Were the kids with them at that time? It seems like it, but nobody says, oh yeah, we saw them or anything. And what were they doing down there? They'd stopped at this campground here, this Pinewood campground. You know, maybe Devante was killed at one of these other campgrounds here. We don't know. But they went clear down here, and when I say way down there, I'm talking about they started way up here in Washington. Let me get their home. Hold on a second. Okay. Yeah. No, that doesn't seem like that was their home. Just a second. Oh, right there. Yeah, so this is their home right there that we see on all those, in those images. And this is the neighbor's house right here that called in CPS. And that's 2012. This is May 2017, this image right here. Maybe it looks like maybe they were doing part of some remodeling going on right there. All right, so this is north-south orientation. But look how weird this is. So here's where they were, right? Then they ended up going up here. This is where their phones were pinging. All right, then their car pinged here in this area, probably driving down 101, something like that. And that's where I go golfing sometimes, Bandit Dunes. And then the car went over. Oh, and this is that other wreck. Remember the Thatapilli family? And then their car went off the cliff here. But the thing is, that's interesting. Got a little shadow to give it 360. I mean, 300. Looks like depth. I mean, just having that shadow there. But their car was found here after they had driven all the way down here first. You know, by this 10-mile beach, I guess there was a ping, Cleone Campground, Pinewood Campground, Surfwood Campground, all the way down here. Then after all that, driving back up north, apparently she drove past over this bridge again, then maybe turned around right there, came back here, stopped. I don't know how they know that little bit of detail right there. Maybe it was the angle. Like if you were looking at Google Earth, right? Let me go to Google Earth. Let me get the version that had the 360, the depth to it. You know, so right here, if you could determine the tracks and they were curved like this, that's maybe how they would determine that. But apparently they drove across, then back this way, and then shot off that cliff, maybe going 40 miles an hour. Then her foot hit the gas pedal and it went in the air, and it was pegged at like 100. And they found, I think it was 4 of the kids here the first day. When they found the car, they found 4 of them. And then they found a body. I don't know if I marked that on the map, but I think it was Sierra they found later. Can't remember. Now I don't remember if it was Abigail or Sierra. Yeah, Sierra was found right here. Okay, so this was a couple weeks later. They found her body washed up on the shore right there. And it's Ciera. And then they also found a foot after that, but they haven't been able to identify it because they can find no blood relatives to the 3 kids. I think it was Sierra, and I don't remember. Let me look at the picture here. I think it was probably Sierra, Abigail, and I can't remember his name. Marcus. Yeah, at first I thought maybe they were going 100, going off, because I was kind of picturing them driving like this and going, and just really going quick, but you know, the car would have ended up way out here going 100 miles an hour. 40 miles an hour, you'd go off, and then the weight of the car would immediately take over, and you'd go straight down almost. You know, 100 miles an hour, you'd have a lot of momentum going outwards, and it would have probably landed, you know, out in the ocean a little bit there. But it looks like it landed upside down. So it, almost like it kind of just barely went off, hit some rocks, and then flipped over. Hey, ArieXO. She says, hello, Gray, and I say, hello back. Yeah. Let me see if I have anything else in here. But don't you think that's weird, that long trip that they took? This is one of my videos on it. Let's see. Oh yeah, see, Sierra I had at 12 in that one. Tried to get help twice for being abused. Okay, and that's this girl right here. Wow, look at that. When I was doing this, I didn't even realize that, but look at right there, 11,398 subscribers. Now 19,555. So thank you, everybody. Man, that was when was that made? That was made in, I don't know, 4 months ago or something. Not too bad. See, this is the picture that was always disturbing to me. Look at this. Look how absolutely malnourished these kids are here. You know, kids don't look like that. That skinny. I mean, kids are always a little bit skinny, right? Normally. But not like this. This is ridiculous. Yeah, I always thought that was a little bit weird too, but I guess if they weren't buckled in and the car flips over, maybe they were shot out the side at the same time. Oh. Hey, cool. Somebody used the, let me go check. Hold on a second. I couldn't see that quick enough on the screen. Sorry about that. But it doesn't show up. It's not a super chat. It's the Streamlabs donation. And I guess that was, I don't know if I'm going to say it, Addie Riley. Thank you very much. Very cool. And I think that might actually show up on, there's like this other bar that I've got that actually, if it shows up on there, I'll let you know, but I appreciate that very much. The super chat one, let's see, the link to Streamlabs goes straight into PayPal, and that's where I'm saving up to get the drone. I'm not sure what I'm going to be all doing with it at this point, but you know, maybe I can fly it around, look for stuff in the Kyron Horman case, or maybe go to the Daniel. Remember the video I did? I can't remember his last name all of a sudden right now in my head, but Daniel, and it was in Sweet Home, Oregon. That case, you know, it'd be kind of cool to fly the drone around the areas. Maybe get the father out there. Yeah, Olberg. Thank you. Yeah, Oberg. Yeah, it's Oberg. Right. You know, fly the drone around in the area where they found the car, right, to get a better look of it. He could say, hey, it was right here, and then maybe you can take me to different locations. I don't know. I might have to just drive there, but maybe I'll try to contact him somehow. Yeah, it's hard to say what those look like wounds, doesn't it? Don't they? But you know what it could be though? I was actually looking at this a little bit ago. When you say wounds, look at. I actually think that that's paint now. I'm not trying to defend anybody, but see how that color right there? That's the same color of that. And also, look, it's on his shoulder there. It's the paint, I believe. And this paint right there looks like maybe this color. And, you know, the kids just have paint on them. All right? So, I always have to put the facts out there. Don't mean to... I did think those were wounds, even just a minute ago when I was looking at them. I was thinking, God. But then I said, oh, look at that paint right there. It's exactly the same color. Yeah, exactly. He's got like paint right there. This color is on his face, on his hand there. You know, when you're painting, you get crap all over the place. Yeah, I just saw that Ama, or Amma. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I just actually noticed that. This is the first time I've seen this picture 100 times and didn't realize that till this time. Okay, I'm just trying to look through some of my older files, see if there's anything. I wish I had... Does anybody have that link we were talking about earlier? The Hey Yama one? I just want to play that again. Hey Yama, hey Yama. Just to show you how just a total bogus... I know it's in one of my live videos that I did. Oh, and also Barry Bailey donated on PayPal. Thank you very much. I didn't hear it make that sound on there. Maybe it was just straight through PayPal though. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird that they're walking around in underwear. It's like they didn't really have much in that house for them. It's just, I think this is absolutely, totally disgusting, you know, this whole case. Just picture that. Basically, you had a house that was devoid of anything related to kids at all. It was a house that was sterile. The kids were, I believe, were treated like pets, basically. They were just to be quiet, sit in a corner, don't say anything. But when we put out images, that's when you'll be allowed to play, so that people will think you're having a great life. There was only one bed in there, a twin bed for kids. There was no other beds for the other 5 on whatever night it would be. They had to sleep on mats or little couches. There are no toys really to speak of, just some Harry Potter type books and so forth. An absolute nightmare. The neighbors didn't even know that there was kids living there either. So they were just kept inside until they were probably marched out at certain times to get into the car to go camping somewhere. And when they were on those camping trips, they painted this picture of this utopian family of love and everybody's getting along. You know, they try to use their sexual orientation and the race of their kids to their advantage, like, oh, we're so worldly, everybody. Look at us. We are what everybody should strive to be. And nobody knew that behind the scenes, they were treated like animals. Refrigerators full of meat. And they claim to be vegetarians because if you told your hippie friends that you ate meat, they'd probably get really upset with you. How could you possibly eat that? Hey, look at that. Jeffrey Ferguson just subscribed. Yeah, I gotta have to change that audio because it throws me off, man. I was just trying out new things there. But you get what I'm saying. It's just a total facade, a joke. Yeah, I like that too. It's hey, thank Jim Jones. Hopefully people aren't drinking the Kool-Aid over there. Either of the 2 women have history of mental health issues. I don't know. But they were definitely drinking the Kool-Aid, Jim. That's for damn sure. Actually, everybody else was drinking the Kool-Aid that they were selling. Let's put it that way. How ironic is that, Jim? That's absolutely nuts, the Jim Jones massacre. That's why people say, man, you're drinking the Kool-Aid because you're buying into all this crap and everybody just killed themselves. Yeah, by the way, if you haven't see the mugs that Watcher just put up there, I did make it for all of us freaks. All right, these are what they look like. This is the white one here. And then there's us, and it says, we are freaks, and on the back it says, be safe out there. All right? That's what we're all about. We're freaks, but you got to be safe out there. And then there's also a black mug. I don't have the link to that one. Is that it right there? No. But that one looks pretty cool too. So if you're interested, they're in the description of the video. Yeah, I like the audio too of the new subscriber, but the problem is it jumps in. It makes a well, when I'm in the middle of what I want to say, it totally is distracting. Yes, Nashi, you missed it. We went for over an hour and some odd minutes discussing the actual updates and some of the past information. Last 5 minutes ago, I'm just discussing what I think a little bit. And then, a little bit of tangents here and there. Maybe I'll turn down the audio though, because I have the ability to turn it down a little bit. Because it's really like, Jesus. I mean, it definitely gets my attention, I'll tell you that. You see my new little banner down here? It says, either like or dislike. Who cares? Oh, and subscribe. So you can like or dislike. Although you can do that without. Hey, thanks, Mitch. I appreciate it. And it's pounds, too.
Hi, everyone.
See? That one was read because I have it set if it's $10 or more, it reads the comment. So you could have put it in a really long paragraph there. That was the default, though. I wasn't trying to diss the... I'm going to set it to $2, I think. Well, that might be a lot of reading. There's actually a text-to-speech reader that Streamlabs has. Pretty cool. Yeah, I think it's cool that a lot of people from the UK are subscribers. I'm a fan of the UK. You know, one thing I actually got teary-eyed once, believe it or not. I mean, I'm not an emotionless person, right? I don't invest a lot of emotion in people. Like, I'm not going to cry in cases when I don't know the people at all, unless it really hits home. Like it's something that I went through. I wouldn't get teary-eyed. But I will say that after 9/11, when I think it was at the... Where was it? The British... I don't know. You know, where the gates are and then those guys with the big hats? I don't know where that actually is, but they played the national anthem after 9/11. That was like the coolest thing I've ever seen. That was more like, yeah, Buckingham Palace. There you go. Sorry. Sometimes things like that don't pop into my head right away. Yeah, I was thinking, I actually thought of Parliament. That was in my head. I just didn't want to say the wrong thing. Is it this one? Yeah, it was Buckingham Palace. See, right now I'm getting chills just remembering how I felt. Like they were waving the American flag and everything. Huh. Wow. That actually just... I'm not even going to play it, man. That just brought out emotions again, just watching that. That's what's cool, is when there's unity like that in the world, you know? Okay, you sent me an email with that video clip. Oh, and hey, let's see. Daniel Modeste donated on PayPal. Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope I said that wrong. All right, here's the... There we go. Look at this.
Love this coast.
I'm just skipping it. Yeah, I was singing this stuff in the shower. I'm just kidding. So here's the part at the end.
These eyes.
Yeah, look at it.
And I feel humanity.
He is a good singer. I'll give him that. Okay, now look. Yeah, he's the kid we were talking about earlier. Yeah, he's the kid that we were talking about earlier. All right? Yeah, he's the guy. Here, hold on. Yeah, right there. See, look at that, how we already kind of knew. Look, watch. Like that guy? Okay, yeah. Watch.
Hey,
Oh yeah, right there. Okay, yeah, right there.
You're my wild, wild. Hey, Abba, hey, Abba, oh, you're my warrior. You're my wild, wild. Hey, Abba, hey, Abba, oh,
Yeah, because all kids wear outfits like that, you know. And see, this is Devante before his hug with the officer when he was crying. Now, if he does seem like he's actually crying here, but it's more probably like, wow, I'm actually getting a real hug from somebody. Or he's just been trained really well how to cry on demand. See, like I said earlier, they treat them like they're pets, right? Look at this. My God, they even put a tail on him and everything. Oh, it's so wonderful, everybody. Oh. Listen to the idiots in the crowd. Listen to them. Oh. Oh, wow. This was kind of like, you know, back in the day when there wasn't a lot of people on my live stream, we'd all just kind of come on and go, hey, hey, it's ridiculous. Yeah, hit the like button, damn it. Now he's like, okay, go back to your seat now. Okay, I gotta get back. Oh yeah. Oh, is it time, Mom? Is it time? Okay, good. Okay. And there they are. There's Sarah right there. And look how little their little kids are all down there with the hats on. And I think this is, okay, yeah. It's going by kind of quick, but this is Devante hugging Jennifer. Sarah right here is reaching out to grab Devante's hand right there. You can actually see it right there. All part of the show. Look how emotional it made all these people. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Makes me want to puke. Really. Anyways. You know what? What's Mitch saying in there? What's the guy? What are you bringing up white people? What does that have to do with anything in here? Man, wasn't that terrible? That, hey, come on, I'm getting pretty good at that. If you guys ever want to get into a trance, I'll just do that for about an hour, okay? Yeah. Yeah, I noticed I felt like my tone was pretty close right there. Well, that's not how I normally sing, but I was like, hey, man, I think I hit those notes. Yeah. All right, I think I'm going to end this live stream here in a minute, but I wanted to thank you for sending me the links. Let's see, who was that? Ryan, appreciate that. And I want to say thank you to Daniel Modeste, maybe it's Modeste or Modeste. Also want to say thank you to, hold on a second. Trying to find, it's hard to find. Lisa Wilkerson as well on PayPal. And Addie Riley on PayPal. I wish PayPal would mark them the same. They kind of don't mark them the same, so it's hard to actually look them up again later. All right, that's on PayPal. Now on Super Chats, I want to thank Miss Incredible, Lynette, Joan Milano, AriXO, Jim Jones of the Jonestown Massacre, and Mitch from the UK. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Hey, you probably didn't send me tips to sing that song, I would imagine. All right, everybody. I might come back on later. I don't know. If I do, you'll get a notification. That is, if you hit the notification bell. And before you leave, make sure you hit that like button or dislike button, whichever one suits you. I don't care, but just make, hit one of them so that YouTube knows that you were at least engaged in the video. All right. So I think that's it. I don't think I'm going to play the music at the end. I'm not going to do the travel is what I'm saying. So there you have it. The Hart family has basically been proven to be heartless in terms of their children. I don't think they considered them children. I think they considered them to be pets that brought in money for the family, for them actually, to create their dream home. And as soon as the kids were over 18, they would just send them on their way to do whatever. They didn't give a damn about the kids whatsoever. They were just part of a narrative that they wanted to sell the public about them. They wanted to fit in a community and be the hero of so many. And in reality, they were just barbarian parents. Jennifer and Sarah Hart were monsters. Okay? So that's the live stream for today. And until next time, everybody, be safe out there. Oh yeah, don't forget to buy the mugs.